My goal with this is to help every relationship reach its fullest potential. Intentionally doing the things beyond just now, but what the future looks like is how I build.
Hey family, welcome back to The Love Lens, the #1 show changing your view on love one episode at a time. Make sure you take the time right now to hit the subscribe button to stay tuned every single week because, we're bringing the fire. And today, I'm going to be dropping a code during this episode. So make sure you pay attention for a really cool freebie. You got it? Good. So today I have an amazing man that I actually met while getting interviewed on television. Okay. This brother, Andre K, he hails from the island of Jamaica. Boop, boop, boop. And he is the creator of the #1 relationship management tool, the best date ever for men. Okay. Come on. Welcome, Andre. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Ready to go.
Ready to go? All right. So, a lot of frustration. This is what women say to me, right, Andre? I'm Coach Cass, I'm having a hard time. These men out here, they don't do anything. I feel like they're so lazy. I hear that so often from many of the professional women that I work with.
Yes.
So, Andre, can you take us back in time? Like, what have you seen to be the problem when it comes to men in today's society?
Too many, but no. I think honestly, it's the person, right? I think it's the person that you're with will bring out the best in you, right? I think that's core.
Are you saying that it's the woman's fault?
No.
That men are raggedy?
No, I think it's matching up with the right person.
Okay.
Right? So it's not one or the other. It's saying, because I believe if you're with someone and you truly want to do the thing, you will do the thing.
Ooh.
There's no excuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do the thing, you'll do the thing. So in that dynamic, what can become, what is the issue,
Mm-hmm.
right? Am I too lazy to plan that date night? Am I too lazy to remember that birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I lazy to remember this thing? Is it just me that's doing it, or I don't have the inspiration to do the thing? So I think that could be one of the reasons why.
So you think it's a lack of inspiration?
Probably a lack of inspiration for most part of it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just truly think it's the person, right? Because
Right.
people go through different relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the time. But it's just sometimes that one person just makes you just want to, you know what I mean?
A little extra.
Go a little extra. And vice versa, right? I think vice versa with the woman, they'll go that little extra also when they feel that connection, right?
So when you start to think about all of your guy friends, right? So you're saying to me, when they have the right lady, they step it up. But if they don't, they kind of lay it down, lay it back.
Yes, I think that's what it is. It's a little bit chiller, a little bit okay, cool. But when you truly feel and find that person and connect with that person, and you feel like your value as well, and you're giving that value back to that person, you want to do the world for them, because I want to see the person happy, right?
Okay, all right. So there's a lot in there. So Dre, is it okay if I call you Dre?
That's fine.
Okay, so Dre, question, right? I see that you have a ring on your finger, and that makes me so happy because I don't know what it is nowadays when these folks out here don't be wearing their rings. So you actually made me really happy with this ring on your finger. So tell me a little bit of like, how did you meet your wife, and how did you know she was the one?
Great question. I didn't know she was the one at the start, right? And I think nobody. I always hear the stories where people say, "I saw the person and immediately think they were the one," right?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, but honestly, I didn't know the person, right?
Yeah.
And as far as how I met her, a very funny story. I was in New York in business, and my friend hit me and was like, "Hey, I see." Because matter of fact, I met her sister before.
Oh. You were trying to holler at her sister?
No. And so my friend it was like, oh, she got a sister. And I think you're gonna like this person. I'm like, all right. when I come from New York, let's set up a time and we all go out and do our thing. We went out that night. Really liked her. I was like, okay. And then the next day, I was like, what type of food you're in? Remember, she's Vietnamese, right? Oh, I want jerk chicken and pineapple soda.
So, jerk chicken and pineapple soda.
Right?
Yes.
Immediately that was like, okay. Being Jamaican, right? So got the jerk chicken and the pineapple soda, dropped it off.
Oh, that's a love language for me. I'm here
to her house, and her dad was there and everything else. And from there, it was just history. From there, we just connected on that. So, and the great thing about even that relationship, she accepts my culture so much, right? People see her and think she's Jamaican.
Wow.
More than I'm sometimes Jamaican.
Yeah. Yes, that's a big deal, right? So when we talk about intercultural relationships, different races, there's so many things that people have to say, but a part of it is that acceptance piece, that desire to learn about each other's culture. Yes, that's like part of the biggest thing.
Absolutely. I think that was subconsciously, right? So even me not knowing it at the start or even doing the relationship, right? It's, listen to the same songs I'm listening to.
Yeah.
Dancing the same thing I'm dancing to.
Yeah.
In some oxtail, right?
Yeah.
And then vice versa. Eating the pho. Eating her BBH, right? Eating her, and then being within that culture and understanding both of it, subconsciously, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think that could make or break a relationship as well if you're not indulged in the other person's culture and the things that they like and enjoy.
I could definitely agree with that. I have a inner circle of friends where many of them is interracial couples on both sides, and it wasn't even on purpose, right? I met one, loved them, like, oh, who's your spouse? Oh, okay, that's different. Well, all right, come on. And what I've seen to work so well is when they accept and honor each other's culture, and then they'll stand up for each other. So, if family gets out of pocket or starts saying something out their mouth, like, you're not going to talk to my wife or my husband like that. So have you had any experiences like that where you had to defend your wife or your wife had to defend you?
Thank God, no. So families are pretty chill. So no, and I can honestly say I've never.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Experienced that.
Okay, so you're dating. She loves the Jamaican food. You're flying to New York because you're in Florida and going back and forth and doing all that. So what was the defining moment that made you say, "This is my wife. This is the person I want to do life with. I want to marry," and all of that?
Honestly, I don't think it's a time, right? I don't think it's one specific moment of, snaps, this should be my wife, right? It's a buildup of things, small, tiny things that built up over time.
What were some of those small, tiny things? We got people listening and watching. That's like, all right. Like, what was it? What was the changer, the game changer out here?
It's the things that was being done, right? So, for example, when I'll come back from a trip, she'll make sure I have food ready. Like, she'll make sure that how we communicate, right? The things that she will do or the things that I'll do for her. All those small things start adding up and us just start meshing together.
So it's thoughtfulness.
It's a thoughtfulness.
Right? So I find a lot, when we get into relationships, we're thinking about what can you do for me? So what I'm hearing you say is like, no, it's a give and take, and we're thinking about each other. When you have a crazy schedule, I'm going to think of you to say, you know what, make sure that my man is fed, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's a core need. And you're saying, okay, well, when she needs something, she can also lean on me.
100%, right? So in even the dynamics of a relationship, when we started dating, of course, younger, it's been what, 15, 16 years now, right? We've been dating, and until we got married. But even that point, she wasn't a chef or a cook.
Yeah.
She learned to cook because of me. Because she wanted to make me feel good. She wanted to cook for me. She wanted to do the things.
So there's still hope for people who don't know how to cook very well.
Right? Still hope.
Very good.
Right? And even on the other side, I make sure at no point she would ever have to worry about anything financially.
Oh, well, amen.
Right? So those give and take, right?
Yeah.
I do what I need to do. You do what you need to do. We do the things together, and that's how we mesh, right? In the sense of, I never have to worry about what am I going to eat today? Do I got to eat today? It's, oh, here's food.
Nice.
That saved me a ton of time.
Right.
Same with her. She didn't have to worry about, are the bills getting paid? Are we making money, right?
Yeah.
Are we saving for the kids, right? Do we
Yeah.
have investments set up, right?
So, Andre, let's talk about that, right? Because there's many women that want to be a kept woman, right? They want to, be able to have their man take care of them. But then they're also like, oh, I got to cook though. Right? So as a man, can you talk about some of the pressure that comes with being the person to carry the household? Because you have 3 kids and your wife and you, right?
Yes.
So that's some bills. Y'all own a home?
Yes.
Oh, hallelujah, right?
And then we own another business.
And you own another business.
With employees.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about how do you handle that pressure to be able to hold it down for your family and hold it down for your business? Like, talk about it.
Being a praying man, right?
Amen.
But you're absolutely right, right? That is a big deal. I got to make sure everything is good. I can cry sometime. But the crazy thing that's happened recently? So I get these anxiety sometimes, right?
Yeah.
All the things happening, the kids and the work, and I get anxiety.
Yeah.
And literally 3 days ago, I was like, hey, I'm anxiety, not feeling too good. Feel like I'm going to run into the wall, right? Later on in the daytime, she came home with the kids. She put together a little box of all my favorite snacks, chocolates, everything, drink, little notes from all the kids and from her. It literally made me cry.
Oh my goodness.
Right? So stuff like that is what makes the difference, right? It's I wasn't thinking that she would do that. Right? So even 15 years and even now is what makes it special, right? Right? So stuff like that, it's it makes me tear now. But just remembering those things is what makes this whole thing special relationship. Right? So
oh man, you just gave me an idea, right? Because I have a husband that holds it down. And with this economy and everything that's going on, it's not always that easy as an entrepreneur,
absolutely not. Yeah.
as a business owner. So to know that you have someone in your home that sees you, and it's not the big things, but just to say, I'm here for you and I see you. There's something beautiful there. Wow,
yeah, exactly. So being able to say I see you.
And you as a man want to be seen.
Doesn't matter how tough I am. Doesn't matter how I want to feel appreciated. I want to feel seen. And I just want to know that, like I said, if you could get to a point where I know things are getting done. I know all the kids stuff are taken care of. Right? So I could literally focus on what I need to focus on to do the things we need to do to continue to live the life we want to live. Right? So, and vice versa, same thing as well. She's going to handle the thing that needs to get handled to make sure I could do what I need to do so we all could mesh. And I think that's a big part of relationships where I think is missing even now in modern times, right? Like, I would hate to be in the dating pool right now, right? With social media, with just smoke and mirror thing, right? So you see one thing on social media, I'm like, oh my God, look. But then it's not it's not what it is, right? So you try to live up to this expectation that's not real.
Yeah.
Right? So now you want your man to be this thing which might not be the thing, or you want your wife to be this thing which is
the one that's killing me is the one where the people are putting the dollars on a stick to make a rose bouquet. I'm like, but then how you get the money off?
Yeah. It's cool, right. But it's I think just the dynamics of being in these times and really just relationship in general, like it's a whole different mindset of people, right? Both man and woman, and just being able to find that person right now, I know it's challenging out there.
I work with women every single day, and what they continue to tell me is just men aren't stepping up. They might call, they may not call, they might call a little bit, go missing for a while, and then come back. It's just what is this?
Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, I think even now, right? So even if you're dating, they're probably dating multiple people, right? Yeah. So how do you manage that, right? And that was always my thing, like, bro, if you have money to date multiple people, you're living good, right?
Exactly. But this is the thing that I tell my ladies. I say, listen, I believe that women are wanted, right?
Yes,
so women achieving new triumphs every day. Now it's to figure out what you want. And when you come across a man, whether it's online or in person, just expect that they're also talking to somebody else.
Yes.
Right? Like
yes.
you cannot be, he's waiting in the corner, just waiting for me, and he's not doing anything else.
Yes.
The whole thing is you're dating to get to know them. I'm not saying to sleep with them.
Exactly.
I'm not saying to do anything else other than get to know the person. And then you have conversations around exclusivity if it gets there.
Exactly.
But the problem is in our society, especially as Black people, especially as Jamaican people, we weren't necessarily taught how to date.
Yeah.
What is that, right? Like, think about countryman, right?
Yeah.
Go milk the cow, come home. Where's my food? All right.
Exactly.
It's just whole of wine. And
yeah. But even that concept, right? I think older, like that as well, it's existing. We don't want to just exist.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a combination of the two. Not existing, which is our older generation, is they will live together, but it just exists. Doesn't mean that they're going on date night. Doesn't mean that they're doing the cool fun stuff. Just we're in the same house together. You cook food, me do this thing, and that's it.
Right.
But no, that's not what we want. We don't want to just exist. Together as a relationship is we exist, but we also do the things.
Yeah,
we also
intentional.
Be intentional with the things that we do, right? And that's why. Talk about best date ever, why I created the best date ever platform, right? So with that, my friends, and like I would treat my wife, right? We do the date nights, we do the anniversaries. I mean, a little tip for the guys, I'm like, one day for a birthday, I did a 7-day countdown. Every day was a different gift.
Come on.
Drop in.
I'm here.
Right? So I do all these things, and every time there's so much stuff to celebrate throughout the year, but I always get better of doing it because I wanted to make her happy. I love to see her face when she that's what that love is, right? So and my friends would ask me, Andre, can you plan my date night for me? Can you help me buy a gift for my partner? Can you help me do these things? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to create a newsletter and I'm going to send you guys once a week a date night idea, a gift idea, and a love message.
Wow. That's amazing.
All right. And then from there, we grew from my close friends to 20,000 guys sign up to that newsletter. And it showed me that, wow, this was really needed. And then even during that time, guys would say, you saved my marriage. Can you plan more frequent date nights for me? Can you do this? And I was like, for me to do that, I had to bring technology to it. And then we sat for the last year and we developed the actual Best Date Ever web platform, which is the first romantic relationship management system for men. I want to rewire man's brain to do the things. So I don't want you to forget another date night, another anniversary, another birthday or a dog's birthday, right? You're not ever going to forget anything ever again. And that's the first part of building relationship, is spending more time together doing intimate things between you guys, whether it's the date nights, whether it's going to the park, whether it's doing the things together. It helps to bring the love together. Yeah. And then that love passes down to the kids, passes around to the friends and the family and stuff like that, right? So it's not just affecting your intimate relationship with your partner, but it affects everything else around you.
Yeah, that is so amazing. Listen, my husband has put Andy and Cass date because I get sleepy at night, right? So I like day dates. But when it comes to actually the day dates happening, they don't always happen. It's on the calendar.
Yeah.
The intention was there, but the setup, it takes more to think about it, right? So for you to create a platform where a man can go on and get these date ideas
instantly,
using AI, using the relationship platform for men, makes me so happy, right? Because as women, we do end up planning everything. I would really like something nice for my birthday. Hint, hint, ha, ha. It's just you pretty much lay it out, send the link, and it kind of takes away.
And you have to be
fun.
It has to be intentional, right? So I think once again it goes back to guys just really understanding and being intentional. And this web app that we created is going to solve that, right?
Yeah.
For me, I know what to do, right? And it's, for example, if I want to buy a gift, I might go to her makeup closet, right? And be like, what makeup is she running out of? Let me go buy that. Oh, what perfume is she running out of? Let me go buy that. Oh, what type of shoes does she like? Let me go buy that, right?
Wait, let's take a pause. To replenish the makeup, y'all. Like, like this is amazing, right? Like, ain't nobody ever replenish my foundation. Like, that is a really big deal.
Yeah.
And you're training them, because where we started in this episode is that not many men are stepping up, but then they didn't have the training. They
Exactly.
didn't have the
Yes.
resources. They didn't have
Exactly.
a tool that could help them. Now, the question is, are you making it too good for these men? So, like for the players out here, like, yeah, let me put it all this in here and then get all the things. So could it be used for bad?
Just like with any technology, of course it can, right? But we're not promoting that, right?
We're using it for good.
We're using it for good. But of course, I mean, if you want to plan any type of date night, it doesn't matter if you're in a dating or in a serious relationship, you could use it in that capacity. But the more you use it for one person, the better it gets.
Ooh, so it learns your person.
Yes, right? So for us and for what we want to do and how we retrain the mind for guys, it's going to take training, and I know it. It's going to take them like, oh, let me be intentional. But we make it as easy as possible for them to do the thing.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. So, okay, so...
But on the woman's side, before you jump in there, so I was talking to this lady about it, right? In another interview somewhere. And she was like, and she saw it and she was like, oh my God, this is amazing, but I'm not going to give it to my boyfriend. I'm like, why not? She was like, because, can I curse? I don't have anything to bitch about.
Oh.
I'm like, what? Because you don't have anything to...
So she wants to complain. No.
Yeah, exactly.
I like peace and butterflies and happiness and joy and bliss. So even that's what you're bringing.
So even when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, huh. Didn't you want to be happy? No.
Yeah. But happiness is a choice, right?
Yeah.
So a part of like my big time mission is to decrease the divorce rate, which is why I work with successful single women, right? So if you choose right in the first place, whether you've been divorced before, married before, in a relation, never, all the things, like if you choose right in the first place, your relationship will go so much better.
Yes.
We know people that have been divorced in a month, in a year, in 10 years, in 25 years, So how do we start to have this relationship that's amazing? So I feel like you're the ultimate handoff, because it's just like, okay, now they choose the right person, they're getting in, but then you could get in a rut. Right? Things happen. How do you thrive in this relationship? And I feel that that's exactly what you're doing, is you're helping people flourish in their relationships.
Absolutely. We even have a relationship help.
Nice.
Inside the platform where, oh my God, me and my wife, we're arguing. What should I do? And it will literally tell you step by step what to do.
Oh, I love that.
Right? So it really manages. And for me, my goal with this, my moonshot is to help every relationship reach its fullest potential.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that every relationship is going to last forever. But I want to make sure that your relationship reaches fullest potential. You did all the things necessary.
Yeah. I love it. I love all of this. Oh my goodness. So, wait, the code. So ladies, here's the thing. We have the love deck. Well, ladies and gentlemen, right? We have something called the love deck. It's 60 questions to ask before choosing the one. On one side is affirmations. On the other side is conversation starters. When you message me on Instagram, okay, the word love deck, we're going to send you a special code for an amazing percentage off. I won't even tell you. You got to go on over to Instagram, send me a message, the words love deck to my DMs, okay, to get that discount. So, Dre, one thing I know is that you work alongside your wife?
Yeah.
So you work in the business together?
Yes. So,
oh my goodness.
So before I started Best Date Ever, I also own a marketing agency, social media marketing agency called Socially Buzz. Fun fact, it's the first social media agency that exists in the entire world.
Whoa. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I started with my wife. Right? Before we got together. So even stuff like that. Remember you're asking me about that lead up to when do you know that was the right person? Like even stuff, for example, when we started the business and we were building it, I got invited to this expo, this franchise expo in Miami. She came with me. We drank energy drinks together and we spoke to everyone in that expo.
Wow.
And that ended up our first big client, which was Golden Cross,
Wow.
right? Which been our client.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing Caribbean restaurant that helped us really part of our clientele where we are now, right? So even those small little things that we did together. So with Socially Buzzed, we're able to now use that to build our life.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
We work together. When we were going to the office, we would drive to the office together. We would drive to pick up the kids together. We would go home together.
What? Wait a second. That's a lot of together, right? That's a whole lot of together. So you're working together, you're traveling together, you pick the kids up together. So how do you not get tired of each other? Like, what is that? Yeah.
Man, God knows, right? But I think it's just really being in the moment, being present, right? And one thing I've always learned is some people think that they always need to talk. Sometimes silence is good, right? So I don't need to always keep talking, and just being in the moment, being together, whether we're driving the car together and we're conversating. But sometimes we might be driving and we're just chilling and listening to music and doing our thing, right? So understanding how to balance that dynamic as well is also important. If you don't feel like you always have to be saying something or doing something, it's bring that together. So that was a big part of a relationship. And even now, I still push her. She wants to go maybe go to the grocery store, do her thing by herself. Oh, cool, great. Go out girls' night. Oh, cool, great, right? But even now, she was like, no, I want to go to the grocery. Come with me to the grocery store. I don't want to go alone, right? Or do the things. And same thing here. So those things are important in relationships, and how you, as man, how do you bridge that gap? How do you find that person to be able to share that with? And respect, right? I think respect is also a huge part of having a successful relationship, because I'm not just going to respect you when we're together. We're going to respect you when you're not around.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's temptations everywhere, right? But being able to say, no, I'm not going to do that thing. It's respect.
RESPECT. So how does she show that she respects you?
Probably a question for her, but for the way I see it is just how she treats me, right? How she treat our kids, right? That respect, that's really giving me the space to do what I need to do, right? That's respect, and even that's trust, right? Being able to trust me to do the things, to go out and travel and all things necessary. That's trust, right? So trust and respect, I think, is too huge.
So she's not questioning you. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with?
No.
Let me turn the app on. Are you saying where you're supposed to be?
No.
So did she have any of those issues when you first got together? It was never a thing.
Remember, technology just came around, right? In that sense, where people are using that to do that. But yeah, I think early on, maybe we did go through that phase. And we're not saying that the whole thing was perfect the whole time. We have our ups and downs. We go through our thing. Right? But we try to make it as minimal as possible. And to do that, you have to understand the other person. You have to be aware of the other person. Right? For example, you mentioned your husband, right? So you say, I can stay up at night. So your husband wants to plan a day date. Intentional, right? Imagine you say, you know what, I don't like to go out at night, but he's still planning all these nice things.
Right.
You'd be like, what's going on? Right?
Yeah.
So being intentional with those things are important. The dynamics between us, right? It's been a while now. So we mesh. For example, when we drop the kids off, I'm a morning person. She likes to sleep in a little bit. She go out later, right? So it's only right that I'm the one that drop the kids off to school.
Nice.
So she could sleep in a little bit later, right? Now, she's only right that she picks the kids up because now I'm now hustling, right? I'm working it, right? So it meshes so perfectly where we don't have to think about it. The less things we have to think about that drive stress, the better the relationship can become.
So let's talk about some of your systems, because this is what I'm hearing in here is that there's some systems. Now, one of the things I often tell my clients is it's important for you to study who you're with, right? They should be your favorite subject, right? So I'm feeling that vibe that you guys are really understanding each other and setting up systems to be able to not have to make as many decisions. Like for me, we have a condo and then we just bought a new house. And when I
Congrats.
say I have decision fatigue, like if somebody asks me one more thing about a paint color, I'm a scream. I'm just like, I don't know. I just make the decision for me. Just forget it. Make it pretty. So what are some of the things that you have systems around? So what I'm hearing is you're looking at your natural inclination to be an early riser. So you're the one that takes the kids to school. So it's no longer a fight of who's taking the kid to school, right? So what are some other things that you have systems around?
Food, right? I don't like to cook. I just, right? I cook when I need to, right?
Survival.
We don't have to worry about that, right? We know that's taken care of because she's going to handle that,
nice.
Right? Once again, going back to finances, same thing as well. I'm going to handle that. The kids, the steps that we do for the kids, same thing as well. We're planning the kids' school. Are they going to the right school? If they're doing the right things, she's doing that. Homework, I'll do that. Right?
Nice.
So, right? So, and if needs to, she'll jump in and do it. And one other things I do intentionally, right? It's example. Let's say that I need to fix a door in the house or do something in the house.
Yeah.
I would also have her maybe come watch or have her also do it. Because I want to take her to a point that not going to happen no time soon. But if I'm not around anymore, she could take care of herself.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Right?
I value self-reliance. It's a thing. So I'm really excited that you include her as well.
Exactly, right? So those are the things that intentionally doing the things beyond just now, but what the future looks like is how we're building a relationship.
Wow. Okay. So one thing I can also add here is maybe looking at where are the points of contention. Because, John Gottman talks about that there's some things that you always have a point in contention about. It might be the shoes by the door or the socks right outside the hamper. But outside of those points of contention, it's like just arguments, right? And if you find yourself arguing about certain things over and over again, think to yourself, is there a system that could be put in place that can help this process? So for me, I'm a shoes-free person, right? Shoe-free house, right? And so with this new house, what I have decided, we're going to see if this system works or not. Hallelujah. But what I've decided is that upstairs will be shoe-free, right? Because right now we live in a same floor condo, hard to... But upstairs will be shoe-free. So guess what? No shoes will be in the closets upstairs. All the shoes will be in a shoe closet under the stairs, right?
Nice.
So I'm thinking that that's going to be a good system. We going to see. But I'm really excited to look at that because that is a constant argument in our house about the shoes, right? The shoes. And, just being Jamaican and, you don't wear your shoes inside the house.
Exactly.
You don't wear outside clothes on the bed. I can't have them strip at the door. So we're still working on that. But really what I'm hearing is look at the natural inclination and see how you can work together. So that's really a key point for us to take home. I love that.
No, absolutely. And I think the more you do that, and with you, as you help people find their person, right? You help them to find the person. How do you know that this person's the right person for this person, right? How long does it take, right? It's like, it's going to take me 3 weeks. It's going to take me 6 weeks. It's going to take me a year. Like,
I had a client. Nope. I had a prospect of a client. We had a consultation call and she was like, well, Coach Cass, in 4 months when I'm in my relationship, I'm like, ma'am, wait a second now. Like, let's back it on up. Beep, 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 beep. I don't force anybody to get in relationships in record time. I think that relationships take time. Now, I work with a lot of grown women. A lot of my clients are over 40, right? So it's just like, listen, we're grown out here. So you kind of know if this is a road you want to go down when you meet someone, or if you're like, no, this is definitely not it. But in terms of marriage, I think that really takes time. Now, for some folks, they're like, but I'm I'm old, Coach Cass. I'm mature in age. I'm 55. I don't have time to waste. But then I'll ask the question, well, how long you been single, sis?
Okay.
Right? And it's like, oh, I've been single for 5 years. I've been single for a decade. All right. So you could take another year
Yeah.
to really get to know some folks. But I teach women how to date and to have fun
Yeah.
in their dating versus just me and you, we're together. 6 months later, we're not together. And I give up for 6 months because that's the cycle that they go on, right? And then they come back around. So instead of doing that, how do I get to know Dre? How do I get to know Gil? How do I get to know Andy? And then over time, I make the decision. I believe that women choose. I make the decision who gets to have more of my time. But at the same time, none of these men am I exclusively with. I'm not telling you to sleep with all these people. I'm not telling you to do nothing, but have conversation and get to know folks. Have experiences where you're like, okay, who are you? What do you value? What are we aligned with? And then you could say, okay, this is my man. I really believe that you have to be pretty sure that this can be my husband before you say this is my man. Like no more of that.
But what if they see in that dating pool, right? What if they see, oh, Andrea has this. Oh, I like that. Gil has this. Oh, Andy has this.
Oh yeah, they always want to like build a man, like the Build-A-Bear store. They always want to build a man. If I could just take some of these qualities together and smush them, it'll make the perfect guy. And I remind them, there's no perfect man.
Absolutely.
Right? So it really depends on where do your values line and who aligns the most with all of these situations, because keeping all of them for years at a time, because I know some women do that, right? They have the poet, they have the businessman, they have the sugar daddy, right? That's like the the three different men that they hold on to. Well, the poet, more than likely, he's really good in bed, right? And then the businessman, he pays for them to, do things, and the business acumen, they could really go back and forth, and it's just like the intellectual. And then the sugar daddy is like, come on, baby, whatever you want. Might buy the house, the car, and all the things, and she'll be pretending to be independent when she has all these situations going on. And for me, it comes down to, do you really desire to be married? There's different women out there that like different lifestyles. So who I mainly work with are women who are marriage focused, who want true commitment. For some, they might have been jaded by relationship and they're not sure if marriage is it, but like long-term partnership, long-term commitment. It's like, how do I really get there?
So they're ready to commit. They're ready to say, you know what? I need the help. I am doing the work to get to that next.
They want to do the work. They may not be there yet. They might actually be quite scared.
So who's out there, so you're working with the women, right?
Yeah.
Who are working with the man, right?
Is you? Is it you?
When they come together,
yes.
I keep them.
You're there. Amen.
Right?
I'm here for them.
So I think is that's a big part as well because you're doing all the amazing things to help them get ready. But imagine them going out there and then
this buster, right? So it really is, how do they choose? So I help them in their vetting, their questions. How do they really know that this is a person worth their time? Because I get a lot that women are like, oh, I don't want to waste my time, Coach Cass. Like, because you don't ask good questions. You spend time with people you don't like. And, this is why you keep on this hamster wheel. So I teach them to date better and have more fun while doing it.
So no more, what's your favorite color?
No. None of that. And if you don't know, it's pink. Right? I love pink.
That should have been natural, right?
Yes.
So being observant, being aware, right? And I think even the level of age of the guy, right? Maybe being a little bit more mature. Even though you're saying the 40 plus, is I would think it would be a little bit easier, right?
For what?
For that age group to find and mesh.
You're mad. No. Okay, so I've signed up for hard work, right? So my youngest client, I want to say, is 28. My most mature client is 78, right? So we have a span of 50 years. And what I find is that the older you get, the more set in your ways, right? So if I put this deck of cards here and you dare to move it, why did you move it? Right? So how do I start to come out of my head of things don't have to go exactly the certain way?
Yeah.
Right? You cannot plan out love. And that's the problem, is that we feel like we need to control everything. The older we get, we like to be in control, or we've had to be in control. The whole family looks to us for everything. So how do I now start to say, I can release this control to this new person in my life that I don't really know you. Do I trust
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Do I like you? Are you worth my time? There's so many questions. Will you hurt me again? I don't know. I have this wall up, right? So we have so many things that go on in our minds, and that's what I help to sift through.
Got
So
you.
I have an entire community called the Real Love Network where I support women in their love journey. I believe love is a journey and not a destination.
100%,
It
right?
never ends.
It's never going to end. It's how do you recreate those journeys? How do you keep the journey going? How do you add the things on the journey that's going to keep it exciting and entertaining and fun, right? And for as a man, it's also being aware, right?
Yeah.
I look young, but I'm 42, right?
Okay.
Um, so for me, it's consistently thinking, how do I get better? And something that I did a while back, right?
Mm,
It's I don't want to spend time chasing other people,
mm,
right?
mhm.
Because that could disrupt your relationship.
Yeah.
So very early on, before we got super serious, was how do I stop that? How do I say to myself, this is the person I want to be with, but if I'm going to be with this person, then there's things I'm going to have to do,
Ooh,
right?
you got to change.
You have to change, right?
So
So
what did you do?
so I changed.
What?
I
Wait a second.
I know.
You just said
I,
I need to change, and then you changed. That was it.
And it's just things that happen where maybe I made her mad or might have seen her cry, and then it's like things like I don't want that to happen,
Mm,
right? I don't want to see her cry. I don't want to see her get hurt and things like that. Just and then even another big part I should actually mention, um, being a business owner, I'm busy,
yeah.
right? So I don't have time to do all the craziness,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the more I stick to the thing I need to do and the one person, the better my business got, the better I was able to be aware. The more aware I got, the more clarity I got, right? It was better for me just one person, my person, right?
Mm,
It became that. And then we got closer and everything else was starting to match. And we're still learning today, right? Even
yeah.
learning
16 years in the game.
still learning about each other, still doing the things, still having good conversation. Still, it's an every day, as you mentioned, it's a journey. Every day it's a learning, and I'm up for the learning. I'm up to learn more, right? Because I want to do more. And the big part, the more as a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more I do for you, it's just the natural. The more you're gonna want to do for me,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
vice versa. I think it's the more
Love reciprocity.
she's
Yeah.
doing for me, the more I'm going to want to do for her. But if
Mm-hmm.
nobody's doing the work, then
Just never mind. So that's a big thing, right? So for most of the people that are going to be watching and listening to this show are personal development people, right? People who are growth minded. So that's often something that we talk about in our community. And the clients that I help is like, you need to be with someone who has a growth mindset,
yes,
because if they're fixed in their ways and they're fixed forever, this is just not going to work. You're going to find yourself always up against the wall. So what I love is that you said, you know what, I need to let some things go in order for this to actually work. And then you did that.
yeah,
Right. So it's not just the talking, which many people can be, but it's also the action piece.
yeah, it's a doing. It's honestly, it's a doing.
Mm.
And so even on my bachelor party,
Oh, snap.
wow, right? Even when there were opportunities to do things I'm not supposed to be doing, far, far away, I didn't do it. 100% didn't do it.
Mm.
Right? Because all I thought about was her. Was I don't want to hurt that person.
Yeah.
Right? So for me doing that, I'm always thinking she's thinking the same way.
Yeah.
Right? She ever came into that situation, I don't want to hurt Andre.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my thinking. And I just stuck with it. It's just bring me peace. I hate craziness. I hate drama. My anxiety go crazy every now and then. Right? I don't want to deal with any of that.
Yeah.
I just want to fulfill my promise and just live the life of just being one faithful, living in faith. And I think that will come back to me a million times with the person I am, or person I'm with.
So how does your faith play a role in your life and in your relationship and in your business?
It's big. Because I feel that if I'm not honoring God the way I'm supposed to honor God, then, or I'm not honoring my wife, I'm not honoring God. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that plays a big part in how I do or think about things, and how I respond to things when, whether we're in an argument or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
It's knowing that I'm not going to do that. I think life in itself helps us to demonstrate that, like just going through life in general, where um I might see something like, I never want to be that person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I want to be a better person for the person I'm with. So those decisions are important for me. Even every now and then we'll go on, let's say, a prayer fasting, where we'll fast together and do the things necessary, and understanding that culture of how we do it together is very important. We're not saying that we pray and sit and wake up every morning and pray together and pray every night, right?
Yeah.
Some people do, but it just understanding that faith, and understand that faith for me is truly important in my relationship. Because if I disrespect one, I disrespect the other. In a sense, if I disrespect my wife, or I'm disrespecting God, and if I'm not, right? So
Yeah.
that's super important to me. And my mom, right? Even my mom being super, have this huge faith, and um I've learned a lot from her, even in that sense, in being, right, really in touch with God, and how we speak to him, and how we honor him, right?
Yeah.
So taking that from her even helped me to do the things that I do.
That is beautiful. So you work with your wife. You travel with your wife. You sleep next to your wife, right? You have your socially buzz, and you're doing that in terms of marketing. Then you've started a whole relationship platform. So then now, when do you rest? Where is the rest in all of this?
Great question. And I try to work out every day. So rest.
Mm-hmm.
Rest comes at night. But rest comes also on vacation.
Okay.
Even now when we go on vacation, we're like, let's sleep some extra, right?
Yeah.
Because we've done so much stuff. It's like we just even take a vacation just to rest,
Yeah.
right? But
Okay.
even now with us, we understand the dynamics of, let's give it a break, right? In the
Mm-hmm.
sense of, stop the work, relax, and do those things. But it's ongoing, right? And I know if we want to get to the life that we want to get to, even more, we're gonna have to put in the work now, do the thing now to live the way we want to live later.
Yeah.
Right? We're living that life now, but there's more to go. So we're doing the thing necessary, right? We sleep when we have to, right? We even work out together, just to let you know.
What? Oh my goodness. This is game over. You really like your wife. This is beautiful.
A little bit.
Yes. So what I'm also hearing in terms of the learning lesson, when a man is into you, he's into you. Right? For me, Andy has male friends, he has friends, and he consistently chooses to hang out with me over everybody. And I started telling him, I said, look, you can not only hang out with your friends when I'm out of town, because that makes me look bad, like I'm holding you hostage.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
bro, you could go hang out with your people. But he's like, I'd rather be with you. He said, it's a problem when a man would rather be in the street
Yeah.
than anything else. And it specifically makes me think of when my daughter was first born. We were 3 days in, the trenches,
Yeah.
and my mother and grandmother said, wow, he's still here. I said, but Sia, it's
Oh,
like,
where's this?
where was he supposed to be? And it's just like, because of what they had been through, the men that go to the bar and hang out in the street and whatever, like it was a new dynamic for
Wow.
them to see a man there. My husband changed the first 150 diapers
Wow.
before I did.
Nice,
Right?
nice,
When I
nice.
put on the first diaper, I put it on backwards. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So he just laughed at me, but he said, I got you, babe. Right?
Yeah.
And for me, I told myself I would not conceive any babies with anybody that I would feel would go running as soon as this baby came out. Right? So it's that choosing wisely.
Yeah.
That's so huge. So for me, I just want to shout you at as what I call a real man.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
So as a real man who is reliable, who is empowering,
Thank you.
who is available, and who is loving, right? So someone who really shows up for his woman. And I really pray that this episode is just a light that men like you exist.
Yeah,
But
they do. They do.
you know some? You know some that are single, you know?
But I think they do, and as you mentioned, right? So having the right tools
Yes.
will help them, and that's what I'm hoping to change. In America, I think they say there's about 180 million couples, right? Everyone else is like dating, so I want to change all of them. I want to really impact all that relationship because, as I mentioned, it's so many things affected around it, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if all your friends were in really good relationships. It just everything.
I love it.
Yeah,
all of
right?
my friends do really have great relationships. I'm intentional about who I surround myself with. I literally about a decade ago, we just went to Aruba together as couples. So 10, 11 years ago, Andy and I were dating,
Okay.
right? And I noticed that all of his friends were like divorced and single. And I said, wait a second now. We need to surround ourselves with men and with women who value marriage and see it as a non-negotiable. Like divorce is not on the table. So we started to pray about the couples we would surround ourselves with. And I would meet a wife and be like, yo, I just pray that this man, her husband is legit. You know?
Yeah.
And he'd do the same on his side. So we brought together about 5 couples, and we have been doing life together for the past decade.
Wow.
And we rolled through different Bible studies. Like we meet every other Monday through the pandemic. We met every other Monday doing Bible studies, because what we realized as people of faith, how important it is to pour God into your relationship and get clear about that and holding each other accountable. And what's beautiful is that deeper layer. Too many times people aren't vulnerable. And what I find oftentimes in relationship, when you're in an argument with your wife, it's like, who's right? But you never really go outside to say, who's right, friend? Can you tell me? Go to good counsel, that part, right?
Yeah.
So what we do is we share our business. We peel back the onions and we really share what we're going through. And then we have our friends, nah, Cass, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Nah, Andy, you're wrong. You're both wrong. You're both right. It could work, so we have our friends that push us in that way and we push back on them. And for me, it makes me really sad when people don't have that.
And I like something you said earlier when you guys were just dating, where you was that you got a bunch of single friends. I don't want to you want to hang out with single. That I think is so important, where your partner that you want to live this life with would say, you know what? I'm not going to hang out with a whole bunch of single people that does this old thing all weekend when I'm in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. If I'm married, let me hang out with married people, because nothing good, right? I don't think there's nothing good could come from you saying, you know what? I'm in a relationship, but I'm going to go to the club with my girls every weekend.
Right.
My single friends every weekend. That doesn't make no sense to me. Same thing for guys as well, right? So I think those things are important in a relationship, when you look and you see those things and be intentional in saying, I'm not going to do that because it will affect my relationship in some capacity, right? That's, I think, is super important to understand, and just being aware.
Something's got to change.
Something's got to change.
That's it. Listen, Andre, it has been a plum-pleasing pleasure to have you here today on The Love Lens. How do people find you on social media?
Check out Best Date Ever. So anywhere on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you want to go, it's my best date ever. Or you just go to the website bestdateever.co. And ladies, when you find that man, tell him to go to bestdateever.co, right? Tell him to go to Best Date Ever. I promise you, it's going to change how he treats you, right? Coach Cass is doing all the work with you. Let this platform help your man do the work that he needs to get done to make sure that you're taken care of and you're being treated right and your birthday's not forgotten, right? Definitely. So check out bestdateever.co or social media, my best date ever.
I love it. I love it. So y'all heard it here, family. So if you got something good in this episode, don't keep it to yourself, sis. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications as we premiere a new episode every single Sunday at 7. Okay? You
And
got it?
and ladies, make sure you also share it to your girls group as well on Instagram. Go to that private group. You know you got a private group on Instagram, so make sure you share the episode there as well.
Oh, I'm here for it. And then share it to all the married men and all the men in a relationship that you know, your brother, your uncle, your dad. They all need to see this as well. All right. So listen, love. My intention is just to change your view on love one episode at a time. Keep loving, keep laughing, keep living. Till next time.